Okay, can you hear me now? I think I might have got it, you guys. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, yep. Now, I think, yep, I think it's working, guys. I think it's working. Yes, woohoo! Cindy says no. Other people say yes, they can hear me? Yes, okay. We have ignition people. This is so confusing looking at this because I'm watching a couple of different screens here, and it's quite behind. Actually, it's quite behind when I look at it, so that I'm not able to really see what's happening in the moment. There's quite a delay here. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to put my other screen over top of it because it's quite annoying. All right. Let me see how that works. Okay, and I can see the chat. All right. How's everybody doing? How are you guys? New moon, you guys. This is really big energy we're talking about here. This is really, really big energy today with this portal here, along with this new moon energy. We have the 6-6, and this new moon is a big moon as it is. It is the moon where we usually do our planting. We're typically ready to do our planting and things of seeds. So this is a really, really big moon moving into the summer solstice in a couple of weeks, when we're going to have that really big full moon, which my team is telling me with this happening, the seeds that we have planted 6 months ago on the new moon are really going to take seed. But as well, the seeds that we're planting now are going to take root much faster because of the time of year that it is right now. So we're also sitting in Gemini season here. And Gemini is all about relationships, communication, and that kind of thing. And you guys may have heard as well that there was 6 planets that lined up a few days ago here. And that was a really huge cosmic event as well. And if anyone has been keeping track of a lot of these cosmic events, there has been so many this year that it's just about impossible for us to keep track of. With the eclipses, the geomagnetic storms we've been having, the class X, I think they are, solar flares that we have been having. There is just so many celestial events that are happening right now that it's just, there's no way that we cannot be upgrading within our body within this energy. So you guys may be feeling a lot of this energy and feeling, I know personally, I've had some irritability going on. I don't know how you guys are feeling about that. If you're feeling a little bit irritable at times. But there is some irritability that is going on within all of this energy that is coming in with the influx of it. And I also have been having a really, really difficult time in sleeping. Like, my sleeping patterns have been absolutely crazy. I'm awake in the middle of the night. I'm having really strange adventures within my dream time. Some of you may be experiencing that as well, depending on who you are as far as how you receive. I receive a lot of information through my dreams, and I think a lot of people do. And right now, with everything that's happening, you're probably going to be having some really strange dreams as well. And what's happening with all of these solar flares and things, they're first of all, you guys, I just want to say, I want to say thank you for showing up here with me tonight. Thank you. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I know when I broadcast on YouTube that I don't get a very big audience. People seem to like Facebook better, but I have decided that I'm going to do what works better for me, and to really be true to me. So thank you guys for showing up for this. I really appreciate it. I love each and every one of you, and I hope that the messages that are streaming through tonight, that are coming through, are going to be something that is really valuable to you, that will help you in some way on your journey, because that is the purpose of why I am here and why I started this channel, is to be able to do channelings for you guys, to be able to help you on your journey. Now, I've been hearing a lot of things in the spiritual community and within different things that have been kind of popping into my awareness, and I don't watch a lot of other channels because it brings other information into me that I'm not is not brought to me directly from my own source. And I like to receive from my own direct source. I just feel that it makes me more of a pure channel when I receive things. And sometimes I will click on something and hear somebody will be talking about something that, you know, I have already received. I want you guys to be really, really aware of what your truth is in this time, okay? Because we are talking about a lot of different timelines, okay? And I don't know how much you guys know about timelines. I think you probably know a bit if you follow me. But there's a belief, and this is up to you what you believe, of course. But there's a belief that we are living multiple lives on different timelines with different scenarios, okay? Depending on our choices that we are making, okay? And I know on a personal level, I have witnessed the collapse of timelines. And I mean, it was surreal when I felt that, and I was like, what just happened here? Like it was a complete turnaround of somebody's personality, of what I felt I was going to have repercussions for something that I said. And I spoke up and nothing happened. There was no repercussions. There was nothing. And I felt the energy literally shift. So I don't know if you guys have felt this, if you have had an awareness of this, of the shifting of the energies. And what happened in that moment, what Spirit told me happened in that moment, is that I made a choice to be authentic, to be true to myself. Listen to that. Beep, beep. Okay, an alarm going off. But what Spirit said is that I made a choice in that moment to be authentic to myself, to honor my truth, to honor myself. And when I did that, when I made that authentic choice, it collapsed timelines that were beneath it. It released that control that was over me by somebody else. Because I set a boundary in that moment that was very stringent, that said, okay, no, this is not okay. So when we are collapsing timelines, and when we are moving into different vibrations as we are ascending, the first thing I want to say is that you're going to move up, you know, if you do nothing or not, because there's lots of people around that are already doing the work. There's different things that are going to come into awareness. But you aren't going to move up as quickly if you are not doing the work yourself. And it may take you a lot more lifetimes to get there, okay? There has also been that. I had that come into my awareness. I asked Spirit, what if I didn't do this? Like what would happen? You know, and Spirit said, well, you know, you might be sitting in a different spot because of the choices that you have made. Because we all have to make choices and decisions for ourselves within our own authenticity. And ascension is all about our own authenticity. And I find that so incredibly interesting, because when I first began my spiritual journey, that is something that I felt was so important, that I was humble and that I was authentic, that I remained true to myself, and that I always was honest, did the best that I could. And when Spirit brought that to me, I was like, okay, that makes so much sense to me, that when we learn how to live within our own authenticity, when we learn how to be the truth of ourselves about who we are, that is when things shift and change for us. When we accept ourselves with everything that we are. And this is not just making choices for ourselves, for what we want to be, the best version of ourselves. This is accepting all of ourselves. This is accepting all levels of ourselves without judgment. Okay? Being authentic within ourselves, calling a spade when we see it as a spade, and recognizing that, like there's so many labels, and I listened a bit about a labels thing here, and I've been talking about labels for a while. When we label something, is how we separate it. It's how we separate it. How it becomes separate is by labeling it. Just like when we label, light and dark, and we label dark as evil, we have separated that from the light now, and they are meant to be one. So when we judge something, when we label something, we separate it. Now, there's going to be a certain amount of separation on this planet because we are living in duality. So sometimes it's hard for us to wrap our head around that too, because we think, Jesus, are we not allowed to label anything anymore? Are we not allowed to say anything anymore about anything about what it is? Because we are here having an experience, right? We're here having an experience. We're here to have this experience, to experience everything within this human body. Okay? And we are going to label things. And, a lot of people talk about not labeling things, but to me, what has been brought to me is about the acceptance of things as they are. Right? Like, we're going to recognize that something is bad when it's really, really bad. When we see something really bad happening, it's hard for us to say, oh no, that's still good. No, it's not. There's still bad things that are happening in the world, because we live in a planet of duality. Okay? But it's more about our response and our judging the person that is doing that. What is happening is not something that is good. And when we're labeling good and bad, this is about events. This is about things that are happening, okay? This is not about labeling people as being good or bad. It is simply an experience. We are here as an experience within this human body. Does this make sense to you guys? Am I making sense? Because I don't want to be rambling on about something and you're like, what the F is she talking about? This lady's went completely loco here. I'll just wait and see the comments. Everything is so far behind you guys. But if you write me a comment, I will read it. Let me know if this is making sense to you. I've been on here jibber-jabbering for about 10 minutes. And I know that everything is behind time on here. There's quite a lag when I come on with Zoom. There's more of a lag on Zoom than there is on anything else. But I find it easier. I want to begin to use Zoom on other platforms at the same time. So I just kind of breaking myself in a little bit at a time. So are you guys understanding what I'm talking about? Or have I lost you? I have to shut this other device down. It's just about dead. It's flashing at me, battery. I had it on so that I could see when I was actually live. Not seeing any comments or anything coming through here. And questions as well. If you guys have questions about this, please write your questions in so that I know. Okay, it's making sense. It makes sense to you guys? Okay, this is not what I was planning on talking about when I came on here tonight, but I always have to let Spirit have the floor because, you know, Spirit knows what is best and what really needs to be talked about. So it's really important that you guys are your really authentic self. Okay? This is what Spirit is saying, is to be authentically you, whoever you are. Don't let anybody else tell you who you are. That is one of the main things that you are here to learn, and that is one of the things that will actually, you know, move you into more of an awakening or an enlightenment stage, is by being authentic. Okay? Now, I want to talk to you guys about, I had a sage, and like an indigenous sage and white buffalo calf woman come to me. In connecting in with Gaia, the earth energy here. So as long as you guys understand what I'm talking about with authenticity and the labels, I just want that to be very clear, because that's kind of floating around as well, okay? And we're talking about light and dark, and of course there's things that happen that can be labeled as good and bad, but people are not good and bad. They're simply having an experience, and we can't label them as good or bad because we don't know the journey that they've been on. We don't have the full picture, okay? So that's what Spirit wanted to say. Now, I want to talk about white buffalo calf woman. She came to me again today, and I did a video on her a while back, like several months. I think maybe it might even be close to a year ago now when I did that video. But she came to me today, and I have been getting a lot of messages from the druids, the fairies, the elves, the elementals, like the unicorns, the dragons. All of those kind of elemental energies are really wanting to come forward right now. And Spirit is saying that it is because Gaia is now moving through the ascension process as well, that she is upgrading and is now in that process. And as we upgrade within that process as well, the more that we show the sacredness of the earth, the more that we will have connection with these types of beings. Okay? Because they are here kind of as earth keepers, I guess I want to say. Kind of earth keepers. It's interesting. Earth keepers. So White Buffalo Calf Woman came in today, and they brought in a message about honoring the earth and the earth being sacred, and how it is so important that we work at conserving the earth and cleaning the earth. And you know, we've got so much pollution in the air, and we've got all of these things that are happening within the earth that are affecting each and every one of us on a cellular level when we think about it. And she came through, oh my goodness, I just made a dive here, sorry you guys. And she came through and said about how important it is to be able to bring a cleansing to the actual earth itself. Okay, so by cleansing ourselves and by cleansing the earth, making sure that we are doing things that is helping the earth. Like, I'm becoming more and more aware of, like, when we go out someplace, you know, the plastics and things. Like, we went to a cafe a couple days ago to meet our friends for coffee, and I had a dessert, and they give me a plastic spoon. Like, really? I'm in a restaurant. I'm not taking it out. Why are you giving me a plastic spoon? You know? So things like that, I have become much more aware of, right? Why are you giving me a takeout cup when I'm sitting in the restaurant? Why am I not having a glass cup in the restaurant? A metal spoon that is washable, reusable within a restaurant. Why am I getting, paper plates or plastic spoons or paper cups or things like that in a restaurant? Things like that are really coming more and more into my awareness, because when we talk about plastics and things, I mean, they do not break down. They do not break down. And I'm also having, the dolphins have just okay, yes. The dolphins have just stepped in, and they're talking about the water. And the dolphins are really high frequency beings, you guys. Like, honestly, I believe that the octopus, the whales, and the dolphins are not of this world. Like, look at them. Look at how different they are. Look at their abilities. Just the way they are. It's just very, very different from other sea life. And the dolphins now have just stepped forward and have said about the polluting of the waters, and that they are going to be raising in frequency. Some of you might be receiving communication even from them. I know I have received communication from the dolphin and whales here as well, being on the coast, that I have received them. I've received them sometimes within healings and things like that I've done. They have stepped in, both the whales and the dolphins, to be able to talk about the cleansing of the self and the oceans and whatnot. So that's really fascinating too, that they are wanting to step in and talk about how important our waters are for sustainability. Our waters are probably the most important thing there is, because without water, we don't live. We are water. I mean, we can live for a long time without food, but we cannot live without water for a very short time, And they wanted to talk about that and about sustainability. I didn't know I was going to get into this, you guys. I'm interesting. I didn't know I was going to get into this at all. But they want to talk about the sustainability of the water and the land, the trees, like the big trees, the rainforests and things like that we have. I know they have stopped a lot of the drilling here because of the rainforests and things like that they have put up a really big fight about that. And you guys, I'm going to take some pictures of some of the trees that we have here in Ecuador. Like, I swear to God, they're like the ones that you see on Avatar. They look like they even look like they have actual skin. Like, they look like they could come to life. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, it's just so incredible to be able to see them, and for us to be able to preserve that natural greenery and that, all of those natural things that we have around us, that, Gaia has blessed us with. And the last live that I was on, Gaia talked about us being an extension of her. And that really hit home for me, that we are an extension of her, that we are nourished by her. We are nourished by, the plants that grow within her soil. Even if we eat meat, we're nourished by whatever those other, animals are eating from Mother Earth that is sustaining whatever the plant, all of those things, the cycle of life that goes through, and that we are a direct extension of her herself. And that really made me stop and think about that, you know, as being an extension. When we think about an extension in the tree of life, we always think about an extension of being our own family. You know, our children, our parents, those kinds of things when we think about the family tree and the extension that we have within life. But Gaia wants to really bring forward the extension that she is to life, that she is our ancestor. She is part of our lineage, just as much as our grandparents and great-grandparents and everything else that we have experienced. She has been supporting civilization here since she was formed. And she is that sustainability. She holds everything within her that we need to be sustained within this life. So that's really interesting when we think about it in that way, that she is our lineage and that we are an extension of her, and that we continue her lineage as well. And you might say, well, how do we continue her lineage? Well, you guys, the cycle of life, like when we leave this earthly body, this body goes back into the earth. And all the minerals and everything that are within our body go back into her to sustain her again. Make sense? As she is part of our life cycle, our lineage of who we are. Okay? So it's a little bit of a new way of looking at things. Does it make sense to you guys? Or do you want to tell me, Dean, just be quiet and don't even talk about this anymore, because we don't want to hear about Gaia because it hurts us. Yes, it does hurt us. But if we don't do something about it and begin to make changes, it's going to hurt us a lot more. So the more that we become aware of what we are doing and what we are putting, back into the earth, the longer we will be able to have sustainability here as a race. The human race, the animal kingdom, the insects, everything. We're even talking about, the elemental kingdom and all of those, because they live within so close to earth and within earth that they live off of that. Okay? They live off of the seeds and the berries and the plants and all of those other things that Gaia provides. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that needed to be said too. So White Buffalo Calf Woman came forward with that as well, as far as sustainability. And and one of the commandments of the White Buffalo Calf Woman is to have great respect and reverence toward all things sacred. And all things are sacred. So this is really, really important for us to understand, that we must, have reverence toward all things. Okay? Everything is part of the cycle of life. All right? And I wanted to go through the commandments here, and that's one of them. Another one is live as belonging to one family, which is kind of what I just got done talking about, as us being an extension of the beautiful Gaia. And how, she sustains us and we sustain her. We sustain her in death, okay? We also sustain her in the waste and things from our body. That sustains her as well, okay? She filters everything and moves it back into the earth, recycles it to be used again, which is why plastic is so bad. She can't recycle that stuff, okay? So remembering that we are one family, live as being one family. We wouldn't do anything to hurt our family, right? And always be faithful to your promises. And we made a vow when we came here. You know, it's something we did before we came here. So, you know, honor our promises is really, really important. There's just so much here, you know, with what's going on in the world right now, you know. Cease hostilities against other nations. Administer help to the sick. Comfort others in time of sorrow. Show kindness towards every living creature on earth. Remember the dead. Love your children dearly. And above all, lead pure lives. And if we all follow these sacraments, the world would be such a beautiful place to live in, where we did not judge others, where we respected. And that's what this is talking about. Have great respect. It's about respecting others' beliefs, other choices, whatever that is for that person. And this is really important as we move forward right now, because we're going to be seeing a lot of choices that are made, and we're going to have to set our judgment aside and allow ourselves to just accept what it is that is happening and respond with kindness and love. Okay? And Spirit is saying this as apparently something that's coming, or that is going to be coming, that we are going to be witnessing, that is going to be very difficult for us. And I mean, we don't have to look very far around to see these things. We don't have to look very far around to see, you know, a response or a reaction that someone has had to somebody else that is just kind of unacceptable when we look at it. And we judge it immediately. We judge it. We judge how others are triggered, right? But there's a trigger there because there's a wounding there. They've been scarred, they're hurt. And that's why there's a trigger, okay? So this is something for us to remember as well. To be kind, because when someone has a huge reaction to something, it's because they have a wounding there. It's because it's painful for them, okay? That wounding is being brought up. It may not trigger something in us, but it may trigger something in somebody else that is deep and dark. And there's purpose with that as well, to be able to bring that to the surface. Okay? So, does anybody have any questions? I'm going to do a light code transmission here, but I want to know if anyone has any questions that they would like to bring forward before I start with that. I'm just going to take a drink. Thank you for the hearts, whoever is bringing the hearts. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I love you guys right back. So I'm just waiting to see if anybody has any questions. I wonder if my stuff goes on there fast or if it takes a long time. I'm not sure if it does. I see it up there, but I don't know how quickly things move through. So please write your questions in the chat. Greetings, Robin Cooper. We have just been discussing Gaia and her sustainability. I had White Buffalo Calf Woman come to me today. 3/8 Pisces. Oh, March 8th. March 8th Pisces here, seeking guidance. I'm a Pisces too. You're a Pisces. You can actually tap in, Robin. You can actually tap in to the energies that are happening right now, and just really allow yourself to be able to be led in the direction that you are being guided. New to the channel and I popped up on your feed. Yeah, I set up a live scheduled here for tonight for the new moon and the 6/6 portal. This 6/6 portal is a really powerful portal, being on the new moon here today. Starseed, empathic. Which star system are you from, Robin? I have an idea here, but do you know the star system that you're from? For everybody on there, what star system do you feel that you're from? If you resonate with as being a starseed, what star system are you from? What do you feel you're from? Don't second guess yourself. Just answer the question, the first thing that pops into your head. You're trying to find out? Just trust what comes into your head. What do you feel you are? What do you feel when you ask what star system do I come from? What comes into your head? What is the first thing that pops into your head? You know, is it Pleiades? Is it Lyran? Is it Andromedan? Arcturian? Draconian? Like, there's so many of them. Like, what do you feel? You're a Pisces. You know, so that can be a really watery type of energy. So just, you know, and this is advice that I have to everybody. You know, we go around and ask everybody what it is that we need to know within our own spiritual journey. We ask advice from other people all the time. But I'm going to tell you right now, you guys have the ability to be able to receive the information yourself, which is truth. Which is the truth. It's your truth. And whatever you believe is your truth. You believe, right? You receive what you believe. And I've been saying this for a very long time. Okay? So you feel like you're draconian, Robin? Yeah. Don't research too much. Don't research too much. You know, trust what it is that wants to come in for you, rather than doing too terrible much research. Like, I would do more of a characteristics. What kind of characteristics do you have? What facial characteristics do you have? What kind of do you look like? Like, one of my pictures that I have, for example, like, I have a really big connection with, you know, with the fairy realm as well. And when I look at the picture of mine, like, my ear is right in line. And in one of my pictures, my granddaughter even said to me, "Grandma, you look like a fairy," she said to me. So things like that you feel resonance with. Okay, just trust that. All right. So I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. I spoke about, you know, this new moon is going to be conversation for sure, communication, moving into communication. And it's also about moving into your own purpose, your own truth, your own expression, being able to speak that with the throat chakra, you know, wanting to come online. Okay. So trust yourself to be able to know what is true for you. Okay? And you'll know that. You'll know if something's like, "Oh my God, that doesn't resonate with me," or "Yeah, it does. Like, you know, that makes perfect sense to me. I'm drawn into that." Okay? So I'm going to do a quick light code. The last one I did was Kundalini. And tonight, it's like Gaia is really, really strong, really wanting to, move that energy in through us and bring down into our soul star. So I'm going to bring in the energy that they want to bring in through the earth with the light code. And I invite you to take in a couple of deep breaths to prepare yourself to be able to receive the energy. If you don't want to receive it, that's perfectly fine. You have to give permission in order to receive it, in order to have it move in through your body. A lot of people are not comfortable with light codes. I know my regular followers that are on here are comfortable with light codes. So I am going to do light codes that I'm hoping will be able to help you with some of the sleeping issues and things that we have been experiencing as well. I've been experiencing that too, the up and down moods and all those kind of things. And I feel like part of that has to do with us moving more into the truth of ourselves and our authenticity, being able to express ourselves regardless of what that is. We've been taught from the time we were children that, we shouldn't get angry and we shouldn't say those kinds of things. We should, there are certain things we shouldn't talk about. And we are being encouraged more and more to be able to express ourselves, with the truth of ourselves and the authenticity of ourselves. And, instead of saying we're fine when we're not fine, don't go on a big complaining about what's going on with you every time you run into somebody. But if you're not fine, don't say you're fine. Right? I'm managing, I'm working my way through it, right? Because every time we say that, we're lying to ourselves about who we are and being authentic within ourselves. Okay? So let's take a moment and take in a couple of deep breaths. And I'm going to call in the team of whoever it is that wants to come in. I know that the dragons will be here. They are always here as part of my healing team, and a lot of the elementals will be showing up with Gaia coming in today as well. Okay, so let's take in a deep breath, and I will check in and see what it is that they are going to bring. Shoma laha miha, nikala maha, shoma liha, imala maha, shokaleha awa kalama, ananaha, ishna liha, vikaliha. Ikaliha, simalaha, shikana maha, ikaniha, shomaleha, ikaniha, sinkalaha, minaha, ushnalahiha, hikalama, ina, nihalamaha. Lahema shika, lahema ukala siha lihamaha, ninamaha, nika shiha lihai, ihamalaha, awamaha, ishnali. Ika, ika, ika. Shomaleha maha, hura maha, ishna ligala, liga namaha, namaha kiha, kiha shimana, hi hala, halamaha, halamaha, ignala, ignalamahai, lalamahe, hihala, hihala, kihama, kihama siha, sihaliha, lihamaha, igna, 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 sisan, kiha, inanamaha, 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 ilaha, ilaha kiha, kiha mihala, ha 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 ha, ishna. Ola maha, hila maha, ay ay Shomaliha, Igala, Igala, Shomaha, Shomaha, Iga, Iga Shima, Shoma, ha, 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 Iwa Naha, Iwa Naha, Ilaha, Inga Siha Maha, Maha, Sila, Sila Kiha, Kiha Mi, Mila Maha, Mela Miha, Ila, Ilahi, 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 Ignala, Ignala Maha, Ignala Maha, Ishna, 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 Igala Maha, Igala Maha, Ingalaha, Shomaha, Shomaha Lika, Lika na 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 na, Ina na Maha, Ina na Maha, Ilama, Igna, Igna, Sikalama, Sikalama, Igna, Siha, Sihamina, Sihamina, Kihana, Kihana, Sigalamaha, Ishna, 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 Vikalama, 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 Sasan, Kiha, 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 Sasan, Kiha, Ikalama, 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 Sikali, Sikali Nina, Niha, Nihamika, Nikasa, Sanaha, Sanaha Siha, Sanaha Siha Mina na 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 Kikalama. Nikamaha, Nikamaha, Sikala, Sikala, Inkana, na 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 Ikana, Ikana, Siki, Sikahala, ha 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 ha, Namaka, 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 Ankaka, ka 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 Sikala, 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 Nimana, 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 Wahanaha, Wahanaha, Wahanaha. Ishna, Shoma, Kiha, Kiha Liha, Kiha Liha, Kiha Liha, Kiha Liha, Noma Kika na 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 na. Thank you, thank you, angels, guides, guardians, dragons, fairies, whales, dolphins. Thank you all. Palladians, the beautiful Arcturians, I thank you all. I thank you all. Love and blessings to each and every one of you. I hope that this helps move you through. Oh, you arrived in time for the light codes. Good for you, Rita. That's awesome. I'm glad you were able to make it for that. So if you guys would share my video, I would really appreciate it. Click the like button on it because that seems to stay. The comments disappear in there, and even the people that are on here, when I'm on live stream, it doesn't show up. It shows up as 0 views, but I mean, that is what it is. I can't really do anything about it. Thank you guys so much for joining me here tonight for this beautiful new moon. Please be aware that you are planting seeds. What do you want? Be very aware of the words that you're using, of what you desire. Nobody else knows what you want. Oh, just a minute. Healing's coming through. Nobody else but you knows what you want. You need to desire that. And not in a needy way, but just that, and kind of in passing, right? Oh, I'm going to get myself one of those. And you'll be amazed how things will just come into your reality, right? Because you're not pushing it away. You're like, oh, here it is. This is something that I really want, right? It's about not having to have a neediness for it. Something that is, so pleading, like, kind of thing, right? It's like, oh, well, I know I'm going to get one of those. I'm not sure when, but I am going to get one. And it will show up in your reality, you guys. If you begin to look at things in that way, rather than, like, I really want that, I really want that, I really want that, and just, constantly. And I talk about this in my manifestation magic, even writing down what you want, like in your new moon journal. Write it down like you already have it, Thank you for bringing me ... right? That aligns perfectly with me in exactly the right time. Okay? Just a couple of ways of being able to manifest. And manifestation, can be difficult because we keep going back to it and keep asking for things over and over again instead of just trusting that the universe is taking care of it. So put it out there, write it down, because words are powerful. You know what, you guys? Spirit is telling me right now, write it down 3 times. 3 times. Each time you write it, it becomes more and more powerful. And they're saying 3 times. And I know, like, even in when we talk about spells or anything like that, 3 times, right? Thrice. Okay? So write it down 3 times. Let me see. Something about writing it down once is an original desire, and sometimes we have fleeting desires. We might want something in a moment, but when we write it down twice, it brings it more in as something that, yes, this is something that I really want. And the third time that we bring it in, it solidifies it. It's like kind of almost like the Holy Trinity is what they're bringing to me. That's fascinating. So 3 times a charm, they say. Okay? Okay. Thank you, Rita. I love you too. I think you guys are amazing. I really do. I think you're all amazing. Each and every one of you. So that's what they're saying. Write it down 3 times. Okay? 3 times the charm. Like it's something to do with the Trinity. And I know for me, when I see things come in 3, I pay attention. Like 3 is a big number for me. And I really pay attention to that. You know. But they're saying 3 times a charm. Okay? So you guys, it doesn't look like you have any questions or anything in the chat that you have for me. So I think I am going to take off for the night and let you enjoy your new moon rituals, writing in your journal for what it is that you desire. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to see if there's anything that pops in, and then I am going to let you go. I know there's quite a delay with this from what I'm seeing here. From what I see on my actual screen that I'm filming on, and then what I'm seeing on my screen on the video on YouTube. Okay? All right. You are welcome, Carla. You are welcome, each and every one of you. I appreciate and love you all. And have an amazing evening. And I'm going to try to come on more often to do these lives, but I'm also going to be visiting family. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult. I'm going to try to come on while I'm there. I will do my best to keep you guys informed. Okay? So have yourself an absolutely beautiful evening, each and every one of you. I got to find the right stream to get myself out of here so that I can end it. I don't know which is which here. This is live streaming. It looks like YouTube here. So love and blessings to each and every one of you. Have an absolutely beautiful evening. And please know that I love you all and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I appreciate your generosity and your support of me so much. It means the world to me that you come onto my videos and you leave me comments so I know you've been there and that they resonate with you. So just thank you, thank you, thank you. Love and blessings. Thank you for allowing me to connect with your energy. Bye for now, beautiful souls.